If you saw the advertising for this evening, it's all about 3 tips for better discovery calls. I'm sure there's more tips than that. And I'm inviting you also, if you want to share on what you feel is working for you. If you haven't done any discovery calls, well, maybe this will help as well when you get into it. If you've done them and feel you could perhaps change the flow of them because there's a better way to work, then maybe something tonight will just spark within you. You think, yeah, that's good. So I'm going to do 3 things that um, I feel help me on my flow with a discovery call. Now, let's not forget, on a discovery call, this may well be the first point of contact someone has with you. Obviously, if they've made contact with you, they must have seen you somewhere, perhaps on your website, on a video, on social media. They might already be in your friendship circle. So when then they come to you on a discovery call, that's quite a step actually. It shows they're not stone cold in terms of being a lead and just so far away. They're actually, edged closer to you by virtue of booking a call. So that's good. You've got that on your side. And of course, it's a perfect opportunity to build rapport with people. People buy people, people follow people. People are want to connect with you on a human level. They're coming to you with something and they feel that perhaps they've even talked to you that you have what they're looking for. And to reinforce that, clients are coming to you, potential clients are coming to you because they have a need that they need fulfilling in their life. All right. They're not after a whole waft of explanation. Someone's trying to get in there, are they? They're coming because they're feeling something in their life is amiss, problematic, an issue that needs sorting out. So the way I look at it, my first tip really is once they're on the call with me or if they're in person, it is this skill of just listening to what people have got to say. Now, I have to be honest, I wasn't always a great listener. Not because I'm a man. If you're a woman thinking, yeah, men don't listen, that might be true. That might be a stereotype. It could be, but it is a skill. And as therapists, that's a skill we need to cultivate. Because if we don't, we'll end up trying to impose what we think they're feeling or want to say, second guessing, which is never good. So just simply listening to people actually is a very therapeutic thing. Sometimes, a problem shared is a problem halved. And I know from my course sometimes, if people have come for example, stress, just to listen to them without judgment is such an empowering thing for our potential clients. And if they feel we're listening in to what they've got to say, they'll make a connection at the soul level with us, which is very important. And what they give us in that listening in this first tip is very important because we want to feed that back to them. If they're saying, I just feel so stressed with life right now, I can't go on. Those are their words. It would be amiss of me to say, you're depressed, aren't you? I'm trying to diagnose. And they didn't use the word depression. I want to word, yeah, stress. I can see that, perhaps you would say. Whatever words they're using, I find in a session, if I can echo back to them, it validates their experience. It validates what they're feeling. They want someone to feel what they're feeling, not be dismissive or say, well, you can't possibly be feeling that, can you? Or using different language that they're not using. It's very powerful when we echo back to people the very words they've used. As I said, it validates their experience. We're not trying to second guess what they're thinking or feeling. Let them say. Now, truth be told, sometimes people don't always say what they mean or say what they're really feeling. And that, again, is a listening skill that we listen between the words. We listen to where they're coming from. Perhaps previous experience on sessions with clients has told us what they really mean. But again, it's dangerous ground to try and diagnose just from guesswork. So that part of listening, asking the right questions, what do you want me to do for you today? all these elicit the right sort of responses from them. And then we can feed back in them, you're stressed. So that's for me, that might sound obvious to people, but when I first began doing this, because I've had to learn to be a better listener. I'm often accused of I hear everything, but I don't listen. It's something that I'm getting much better at. And when we're not listening and trying to think, well, okay, when we're inwardly we're thinking, that's thought bubble above our heads. For God's sake, just finish your sentence. Because I want to get my words in here. We've got to avoid the temptation of wanting to jump in the flow of what they're saying. Just let them speak. Provide that, that safe space for them to speak. All right. Um, so that's my first tip is the listening and then feeding back to validate what they're saying. Secondly, this is such an important opportunity before we've even gotten into the eventual booking is to install belief in our potential clients that they can have a change. I'm not saying we're speaking hypnotically, but we're certainly speaking in a way on that call that gives them hope, belief that they can get what they need, they can change, they can find it. Some people come to hypnotherapists as a last measure. Prescription medicine is not working for them, or they don't want it. They've not been listened to. And we're often dealing with people who feel that they're at the end of it. There is no hope for them. They've got into a very uh, fixed way of thinking, habitual thinking, that they have to live with this, whatever it is, for the rest of their life. Chronic pain. I'll always be suffering from anxiety because out there in the big world, there's so many things to worry about. I just wake up every day so stressed about life. I can't see that changing. So I'm not sure why I'm on this call with you, but maybe there's something you could do. But inwardly, when you listen to that language, you can hear their soul pain, that they feel there is no way through. And it's not our job to say, yeah, it's really shit out there, isn't it? We don't want to amplify what they're feeling in the negative sense. We want to install in them a real solid belief that you're not stuck with this for the rest of your life. In fact, within a day, within an hour, within one conversation, life can change very quickly. So these discovery calls are very important to create an expectation in people that there's hope, regardless of what they share with you. And that the reason why they think there's no way forward is simply a pattern of their thinking. And it might be just, they might have had traumatic past. There might be externals in their life that they're thinking about in a certain way that are causing this. There might well be chronic pain in their body, etc., etc. But our job as therapists is to sow hope into their hearts so that they're in conversation to us and they hear us talking about what we do and why we do it. Something just fires up inside them that they haven't seen or heard before. And they think, God, there is a chance I could be rid of this. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. That sort of coming alive in them, that there's something here that could heal me, that could give me a break from stress, from this negativity, from these fears I've been carrying years. That's our job. We carry hope. We carry compassion. We're skilled. We're ready enough to help people. So we don't major on what they're feeling. We want to take them to a place where they see a future that's great, that they can really believe they're going to experience transformation. And if inwardly you're thinking, and I'm not really convinced of my own words, just fake the damn thing. You've got to, for their sake, you've got to be inspirational. I'm not talking podium speech, but I'm saying in a way that you can help them see for themselves what's within them to find their own healing or transformation. We're just facilitators, don't forget. People through hypnosis do their own change work. We're just their guides. And so you can carry that confidence in a session and give people a chance to see a new life. So what don't you want? It's not what we talk about. It's how would life look without that? What would you be able to do to experience the sort of life you would be able to lead? That's what we focus on. Because when they see that, people see that suddenly the horizon changes, the clouds disperse, and they get a glimpse of something that perhaps for years they haven't seen because they've been so enslaved to habitual thinking about, I'm stuck in this. There is no hope for me. You understand? You see that? It's a very important part of this discovery course. And thirdly, for me, it's once we've established all of that, and there's good rapport at this point, we know how we can help them. They've shared what they want. They're expectant about working with us and getting the change, is then to give them a very clear path of action, what to do now. So I never get off a call and say, look, if you feel you want to progress with this, go to the website and you'll see a page. I'm sure, or where's the tab? At the top of my webpage, you'll see a booking session on this. It's too vague. If we've done our job on that call, we've connected at the heart level and people have responded to us, then they they want to be told really where to go. They want to be sort of led in a certain direction. And it would be a miss of us if we just left them expectant, hopeful, but not more than that. It would be anticlimactic, I suppose. So at the end of a session, I say, this has been really good. And I know I can already see changes in you. And I know when we work together, we're going to deal with this. You're going to get through this. And that life that you described that you wanted, it is just, it's just a day away. It's just a session away. So what I want you to do right now, just go to my website, or you can just right now book a session with me. And in that session, we'll be on Zoom or we'll be, local. I'll be in person. Just assure them that it's okay. It's something that they can be comfortable with, how to make a booking. And it's very explicit. It's not if you feel, if you want. Now, perhaps you think that's a bit pushy. Well, I'm just saying this is the way I do it, and I always seemed to get a booking in. I mean, it's out of 10, perhaps discovery calls, maybe one I don't convert. And I know that's a salesy word, but this is business on one level. So I always want to make sure that if I'm on a discovery call, people know exactly what to do next. And there's a clear path of action. If I send them to my website, I don't want them trailing through endless pages of qualifications, certifications, neuroscience. Really, on a session like this is not on my tip list, but I'll just say it anyway. It's not to try and convince people that, we're qualified or to show prowess in what we do. It really is to listen, to respond with compassion, and to give them hope, and then a means to get that change work done and that result activated in their life. So for me on that call, I'll have a link ready. I'll even have a page where I can actually take the booking and then it just sends them that thing. I always take bookings in advance, maybe, payment in advance. Perhaps you don't, but just for me, that's my way of working. So I am also expectant of making that booking with them as well. And that confidence needs to come through. If they feel that we're not really confident in our own confidence and abilities, people pick up on this. As humans, we're very in tune with other people's energy. So listening and feeding back to validate their experience. What is it they really want? Building up hope in their lives where perhaps for years, 30 years, they've been suffering for things and they really feel there is no hope. Give them the expectation. And that is almost hypnotic in itself. So when they do come on the session eventually, that half of that change has already been within them already. And they're almost been inducted already into the transformation process. And then through those steps, have a clear path for them to take action with you there. I do know that if you leave it too long, people are usually they start to think about, I'm not really sure whether I want hypnotherapy now. I guess I could live with this. That's why I'm scheduling. I don't have, booking more than 14 days in advance. Because if you give people 3 months to book, they'll book and then they'll get a reminder sometime down the line and think, oh crap, I don't want that now. It's not they're not where they are, where they were with you 2 months later. So you want to try and lock in that emotional sense they have by giving them a call to action at that point. Obviously, we're calm, we're professional, informal, not clinical. We don't want to invalidate their feelings by telling them what they're not thinking. You can't possibly feel that, can you? Or you'll get over this type of stuff. I have to state the obvious, but those are my three tips. I'm not saying they're gospel, but I try to consciously put those phases into discovery calls, and they work for me.